I'm here. Here I am. Here I am. I'm here. All right, y'all. Listen. I was supposed to start earlier, and all right, we're ready now. We are ready. I want to share out real quick. So you guys know I'm here. All right. Okay. So this is going to be our next 7-day reading. This is a Crowllective. Well, first things first, I should light some incense, right? All right. Let's see what's going on. So, did anybody get news on the altar yet? Anybody? I did. What about y'all? All right, today's message. Pulling it up for y'all. Has to do with money plans, okay? Money plans specifically. For some of you guys, angel number 222, for some of you guys, the money plans could be a career plan. It could be a financial plan. It could be money choices and decisions, okay? But something related to money is going to turn into some sort of trip, okay? Now, if this is business related, it's going to be a successful business trip or a successful business travel. And for those of you that is like not business related, then most likely it has something to do with your money, your finances, being able to successfully travel somewhere or go to a trip that you basically are trying to manifest or something like that, okay? All right, let's see what else comes up. What do they need to know? Ha! The birds. Clarify the birds. So you're getting spiritual communication from your spirit guides, which is funny because I was running late, but I was right on time to receive some more feathers from my guides. I got 3 new feathers. So you may feel like you're running late, but you're actually on time, or you feel like something is delayed for you, but it's right on time. Something's happening at the time that it's supposed to happen. In the previous live, I talked about divine timing. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Clarify the birds. And I saw like a whole bunch of birds. Like I saw over 20 crows this morning. Okay. And then three out front. and like over 20. And I saw like, that was like about 3 crow sightings. Okay. While I was walking my dog. We have the flowers here. So there's something about an old conversation is coming up, or a previous discussion about something is coming up. All right, y'all. Hold on, somebody wants the link. So that could be something significant. This could be this could be either you having a conversation with a family member, or your family member bringing something up again to discuss about. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the conversation is, but it feels like old, like you already had this conversation. So like someone, you know how someone like brings something back up that happened like last week, or that happened like 2 months ago, or like, you know, past tense, right? That's kind of what I'm seeing. So like somebody brings something up from the past. And it could, if it's not a family member, then it could definitely be happening inside of a building. If it's not your home, then it's some sort of establishment. Okay. Remember, for each and every one of you, your personal message is going to look different than how it's going to look like for the next person, right? So for you, it might be like an establishment or something like that. And for somebody else, it could be like their home. So take it how it applies and how it resonates, right? You know, I also see here is like, this looks like a long conversation that's being had, or a conversation that's been being had for a long time. But it's a happy conversation. It's not like a bad conversation, right? For some of you, I see an omen of like a fun date, like a date night. You could have seen a hawk, I would say at least 2 weeks ago, all right, or within 12 days. A hawk sighting, hawks in the sky. And crows too. Somebody asked me what's the difference between a raven and a crow. A crow is skinnier, and a raven is like bigger, like at least 2.5 times bigger than a crow. A crow caws, and a raven like honks, almost like a bird snort, or like a knock sound, right? And then the ravens have like this like beard, like it's feathers, but like it's like poofy where their throat is, and they have the little hump for their beak, right? So I'm not sure if you ever seen them up close, or close enough to see the tail, but the tails are different too, right? One's like a fan, and then the other one's is like, it's like an odd shape. It's like pointy almost. So there's differences. Like you're gonna be able to know that, especially if you get close enough to see them like up close. Crows are usually together. Crows flock together. Ravens, they'll mate for life. So once they have their mate, they'll be with their mate. But ravens are more like solitary. They do their own thing. Whereas if you see a crow, you best believe that there's more coming or there's more around. Even if you don't see them, they are around. They could be either on trees or like on their way. So hence Crowllective, right? A collective of crows, right? So yeah, you guys could have been seeing those things. Those things are significant. If you haven't been seeing them in the past like 2 weeks, 7 days or so, then best believe you're going to start seeing a whole bunch of them. Okay. And pay attention to like things that like you're talking about, because for me, when like I'm in communication with my spirit guides and I'm asking about certain things, I will get omens through the birds, right? And the omens could not, it's like, it doesn't always have to be like a crow call. The omen can be a crow sighting, a hawk sighting. If you have any other kind of birds, like sometimes I have blue jays or robins or woodpeckers, right? For different things, right? Sometimes I hear the owl, right? And so it's like a message, right? You have to distinguish, okay, who's my spirit guide and who's my ancestor, right? You have to figure out which one is which for you, for your spirit, your animal spirit totem, okay? And if you guys want to figure out which is which and you want a mini reading from me, you can go ahead and click down below, go to spiritualsboutique.com. All right, let's see what else. We have the clouds here, and we have the hearts and the mice. There's the clouds, the bear. So there was some sort of confusion or uncertainty in regards to finances. You have the lady on the bottom of the deck. All right, this could be you or whoever you're dealing with in the next 7 days. All right. You have to figure out your character. All right. I feel like someone was like emotionally burdened or experiencing emotional stress, right? Seeing something was emotionally triggering or stressful, okay? You know, I also see that someone was going through some sort of heartache, okay? And that could have been the cause of stress, okay? So if you have been going through some hard times emotionally, it's the root cause is heartache, okay? In addressing that heartache, confirmation, right? Communication, all right, that was a confirmation of communication. Addressing that, like having a conversation about that. Now, I'm not sure if that means having a conversation about that to like with whoever's involved or having a conversation about that in general, like what is that called? Like finding closure through a form of release through communication, just like mentioning it and like venting, right? Can help heal whatever that heartache is that you're facing with that's causing the emotional triggers and the emotional stress. So this is almost like, you know, there's different types of therapy, right? And so like there's like art therapy, there's, you know, talk therapy, there's just the presence of someone sitting there with you in solidarity, just listening to you, but not necessarily having like a conversation back and forth. Like, so there's the traditional going to the therapist where you're talking to the therapist, but the therapist is bringing things up for you. So that way you can address those certain things, right? That's the traditional, you know, counseling. Then you have what is called like life coaching or spiritual counseling, where it allows you to blend those things, the same thing with like the counseling back and forth, right? But it allows you to blend those things in with your well-being. Well-being has to do with your spirituality, your emotional and your spiritual well-being, your mental well-being, all together, not necessarily just pinpointing like what's going on with your brain and your reactions to things, right? Which is more of like the traditional sense of therapy and psychiatry and stuff like that, right? Whereas spiritual therapy or spiritual counseling or a holistic approach to healing, depending on who you go to and how they like work their practice, right? They can offer different things, right? So someone may need to like vent, something about venting or talking. So some sort of therapy or counseling may be significant for someone. That may be beneficial. Something else that I find helpful would be like writing something out and burning it. That's a form of release, right? Um, Being able to like scream into a pillow, right? That's a form of release, right? Um, there's something here, like somebody like is going through something emotionally, and that needs to be addressed. And I feel like that has also came up a few times, and I don't know why they're talking about this now. I'm seeing angel number 111 now as well, so that could be significant. Okay, so going back to finances, right? Finances. I kind of lost myself for a second. I was like, what? Somebody could have had issues like with like a mom, a boss, a supervisor, someone official or superior or whatever the fuck. Like, and I feel like a few of those things, like I feel like how like we say in the spiritual community, as within, so without, right? Do you actually know what that means? I know that like a lot of people say like, yeah, as above, so below, so within, so without, right? But do you actually know what that means? So that it's almost like where there's light, there's darkness, right? And so what is happening inside is going to reflect outside. Kind of like if we don't take care of the inside of our body, you're going to start seeing something physically on the outside that reflects that, right? And so spiritually, like if you don't take care of yourself spiritually, you're going to see the spiritual effects of not taking care of your spiritual well-being, right? Same thing with finances. If there's something, I don't know, if there's like a bad habit or no, I don't even want to say that, because I feel like I'm leading into like trigger words, and so I want to phrase this in a way that I'm not pointing the finger at you, but I'm pointing the finger at the problem. Okay, that's another thing that could be triggering for you, or triggering for whoever I'm mentioning this to. The problem is not you. The problem is the actions. Okay. You're not the problem. You never were the problem. You have to address the actions that you're taking, because you can fix the actions. You can change the actions. You can't change yourself, but you can change the way you react. Are we following? Right? So the problem is not about changing yourself. The problem is about changing your actions, changing your commitment, changing your engagements, changing the way you interact with people, changing the amount of energy you exert on people or the amount of energy that you absorb from people. It's about your actions. Okay? Right? So now that we know that, there's something emotionally that needs to change that could be affecting your finances, right? So when you're stressed out emotionally, or you are holding on to heartache or burden, or you feel a loss of love, or being loved, right? Because that's also something that comes up here for some reason. Those are the triggers, right? And so as you're experiencing certain things like that, they also cause issues with authority figures, supervisors, like bosses and stuff like that. Like, and yes, I understand everybody has their own free will and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. But it's almost like, imagine, I'll give you a really good example. Imagine you playing hopscotch. Okay, playing hopscotch on a regular day, feeling great, right? Now, imagine playing that same hopscotch game when it's scorching hot out and you gave your last bit of water to someone else. And now that same person that's playing with you has more water in their system than you do, and you're playing the same game of hopscotch, right? Now, imagine it's raining out and you're sick. Okay, it's raining out and you're sick. The rain is now taking away the hopscotch board because you can't see where the heck you're going, right? And you're still playing hopscotch, but you're sick. So you exerting that much energy is going to make you sicker, and you don't know where you're going. Okay, one more example. Hold on, cherry on top. Now imagine you're playing hopscotch, right? You have your water, you have enough energy, you're excited to play, and everybody has their fair share, okay? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to have a great time. Everything's going to be great, right? Versus, your final example, imagine trying to play hopscotch with a sprained ankle or a broken foot, and you have to hop on the broken foot or on the ankle. That's painful. And that goes back to there's heartache. If you don't address it, if you don't wait and heal it, if you don't figure out what's the mistake here, what's that key element that's going to shift everything around, right? That's how you're going to be able to fix it, right? So you got to figure out what is that hopscotch game for you? What is that broken foot or sprained ankle, right? Metaphorically. Who is the person that you're giving your last bit of water to, right? And why do you feel the need that even though you're sick and you don't know what you're going to do next, to keep going? And I'm not talking about in the sense of giving up. I'm talking about in the sense of, why don't you give yourself a break? Okay. These are things, again, that your spiritual team is bringing up to you in the next 7 days. All right. That could be significant. All right. Many messages out of the way. Let's get to the financial bit, right? Let's see what's going on. All right. Clarify the financial travel thing. What do they call it? Successful travel, business travel, or trip. What is that? Oh, we have the sun card and the fish. That's a good omen about money. I think this is our second Crowllective back to back, I swear, that's saying something good about finances. All right, we have angel number 313. That's a mirrored number. So there's a new opportunity here, or a new chapter in financial structure and stability. And I think the previous Crowllective I talked about a series of unlucky choices. But that's shifting because of good luck, right? So someone's going to be successful in regards to business endeavors, all right? I'm seeing a financial increase. So this could be the reason why you're going to be able to go on that trip, or the business travel or something like that, okay? It could be business related, career related, finance related, okay? Anything else? We have the dog here. And the whip. I was going to say you could be going with your friend, but there's an issue here with friends. And then we have angel number 181. So there's like a mirrored thing happening there with a friend. You and your friend may be like mirroring your triggers to one another. It's not that you're triggering each other, it's that you're showing what you need to heal from each other. This sounds like a twin flame friendship, okay? Or a karmic healing friendship, one of those. You could be having arguments with a friend, okay? The locket. Clarify the locket. The ring. Are you arguing about the friendship? Why are you arguing? Someone feels like, I heard, you think you're better than me? Or I feel like you're better than me? Something like that. The locket in the ring talks about a partnership or marriage. We got another mirrored number, 242. What's going on here? So there's like a comparison, contrast thing that's going on in friendship, and that creates like an argument. I'm not sure if this is you or the other person. What's going on? The gentleman is here. So you have a partnership with a gentleman, or you're married to a gentleman, okay? To this masculine. Figure out your side of the story. Is that what the argument's about? The mountain. Oh, this is the same masculine from the last reading. He came out the same way. The letter. You guys are communicating about this? So why are you arguing with the friend? Or why is the friend arguing with you? What's the point of this? So to refresh your memory, or for those of you that, you weren't here for the last reading. So this masculine right here, okay, is the loner. All right. This is the single man. Okay. This is the man that had some sort of like spiritual and emotional blockages. Okay. And it was affecting some sort of connection with someone. And I'm not sure if it was you or somebody else. Okay. But that's what I'm seeing here. And so, like, but why is the letter at the bottom of the deck? So you're going to get a message about a man. That's one. It could have been delayed information, okay? Especially if there was like you didn't get any message from a said masculine or this said masculine, all right? There's like something about a delayed message. So it's giving like someone, you know how you send a text message or something like that and it doesn't go through because of reception or whatever, and then after you get reception or after you get Wi-Fi, the message gets sent, right? There's something like that that can happen in the next 7 days, but I'm not sure if it's from the masculine or if it's from the friend. I'm seeing something about internet dating. So somebody in the Crowllective, all right, could be dating. All right. I'm also seeing a love letter. Didn't I say that? I said there was going to be um two sweet messages or two love messages or something like that before. Now the love letter is coming up again. So another message is coming in the next 7 days. Or maybe that's the one that was delayed. But bear with me though, okay? Because I'm also seeing an angry letter. So there's a love letter, but there's an angry letter. There's a delayed message coming in. And I'm wondering if someone tried to like unsend something, but they couldn't unsend it, or they thought they unsend it and then it went through anyway. I don't know. There's something weird happening here. Then I'm seeing something here in regards to a sexual message. So there's three different messages. There's three different messages. One is the argument, so that's the angry letter. That makes sense. One is the argument, so you can be going back and forth with somebody arguing through phone. Okay. The other one is a love letter, right? So somebody, now the love letter can sometimes come out because the last time, the love letter for me was my kid giving me a I love you note and leaving it at my work desk. Okay, so the love letter. Next 7 days, it doesn't always have to be like okay. Next 7 day readings, collective readings, are not, unless I title it, are not crow love stories. Okay, so this is just based off of a next 7 days. Kind of, let's see what's gonna happen. Let's flow, right? So anything can come out. Versus a crow love story, which is basically a love reading that the crows are talking about, right? Hence the crow love story, right? The love story of a Crowley. And so, because there's so many different messages, I'm not sure in which order you guys are going to get them. Be honest, there's so many different messages. I don't know which order you're going to get them. Okay. but we're piecing everything together. Business related, I see something as like a signature, and if it's not business related, then it has to do with a legal document of some sort. Somebody's pen pals with someone. I don't know who. Like, when I hear pen pal, it takes me back to like when I was in middle school. We were assigned pen pals. It was one school and then the other school, and we ended up meeting together one day. Like we had our teacher had pen pals with the other math class of the other school, and we were like writing back and forth all year long. And then we finally met up close to the end of the school year for a field trip. And I don't know if that is significant for somebody. If you're doing like the pen pal thing or the internet dating or the long distance thing, I don't know. And then you finally end up meeting the person. So next 7 days, that could be a discussion. Someone's pen pals with someone. And in the Crowllective, someone has a pen pal. All right. You can get news about a friend also. So I see a contract, I see a written agreement of some sort. I saw the signature, right? Um, but what does this have to do with the trip? Are these like little series of events that take place before the trip? Is that what that is? I feel like these are like little like markers in time. Like this could happen and this and this and this and this and this happens before the trip happens, or before whatever happens financially for the trip to take place. So like they're indicators. They're like omens. Okay, so the more I do the next 7 day readings, the more like I understand them. Because this is not like, oh, I'm pulling tarot and that's it. Like these are the crows talking. And the crows talking code. And once we crack the code, it's a wrap. We have angel number 282. Yeah, someone has a new relationship that they're entertaining, and they're like conversing with that person. Now, the relationship could be a friendship, and it can bring, oh, that makes sense. Okay, so if you're entertaining a new friendship, the old friend is pissed. They're pissed because they're not getting enough, like you're not spending time with me, or ever since you started hanging out with this person, you don't talk to me anymore, or you changed, or something changed, or we used to do this and now we don't do that anymore. It's like nitpicking energy. Right, the comparing, the contrasting that I was picking up in the beginning. I was like, what, why, where's this coming from? That's probably how you feel. You're like, what is this? Like, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. But like, so I did say like you could be triggered by that friend, but that friend is also triggered by you. Okay, it's that friend. We have the stork. So something's changing the anchor. So are we going up or are we going down? for the anchor. Is it up or down? Someone's facing anxiety. Someone's anxious. Someone's doubting something. Or someone's having trouble sleeping. This is good progress. So if we're talking about good progress, we're going up. We're not going down. We're going up. Elevator, elevator, elevator. We're going up. This is progress. So financial progress leads to the business trip or leads to some sort of travel, right? Successful travel plans. The owls. So we had the letter, we had the birds. Now we have the owls. Okay. So the birds are talking to you. So you're getting communication to your spirit guides, okay? So the next 7 days, the birds are talking to you. You're trying to figure out what they're telling you. You're getting messages, like you're getting actual messages on your line, right? You're getting actual messages, communication from people. So there's communication back and forth. And there's like, you're having a conversation here with your intuition, or you're having a conversation, like, because these are the owl besties, right? So like owl besties, these are like spiritual friends, or owl besties like soul sisters, owl besties like your twin, right? Like you guys look alike, whatever. Like whoever your owl bestie is, drop it down below. Let me know who your owl bestie is. But you're having a conversation with your owl bestie in the next 7 days. So there's like a lot of talk. There's a lot of chatter happening in the next 7 days. Just a lot of everything. It's a lot of movement, communication-wise. We have the child in the garden. Clarify the owls. What are the owl besties talking about? What are they talking about? The clouds. They're confused. They're trying to clear something up. The clock tower. Ooh. What are you talking about? Somebody could really say that. Like 7 days. Like, what are you talking about? There's a misunderstanding. So this is a confusing conversation. Like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? There's a lot of questions going back and forth. I don't know why I'm seeing a playground. Somebody in the Crowllective has like a child that goes to daycare. Someone in the Crowllective has a child that goes to daycare, and they're like in the playground or something like that. Or they play in the playground. So the next 7 days, that could be significant. Okay. Or there could be an event in the next 7 days. There could be an event for your child or for children. Okay. And whenever I get that omen, you could think birthday parties. You could think, I said something about the daycare, so maybe the daycare has an event, or a place tailored to children might have an event or something like that. Or there may be an event for specific kids, like age groups and stuff. So there's some sort of event for children. in the next 7 days. Clarify the clouds. What's the misunderstanding? Clarify the clouds. What's the misunderstanding? The freaking gentleman in the reverse? I don't do reversals in this deck. I don't know why he came out in the reverse. The bouquet. This is... Who is this man? Maybe that's why there's a misunderstanding. Maybe somebody thinks somebody's somebody else and it's not. And there's some sort of misunderstanding. So this man's attractive, but not that attractive. This man's happy, but they don't show it. They don't have a charming nature. Who is this? So there's some sort of misunderstanding about this guy. Who is this guy? The tree. The stars. The dreamer. This is not the guy that the psychic told you about. That's what I heard. This is not the guy that the psychic told you about. What am I talking about? This is not the guy that the psychic said. So who the fuck is that? Who is this? There's a misunderstanding about a man. Not that man, this man. So you're clearing something up about a masculine in the next 7 days. That's weird. I don't know what that is. You're clearing something up. Hold on. Maybe we'll get some more insight on that. Just like why? Why is there a misunderstanding though? So maybe you confuse one masculine for another. I mean, you have a lot of messages, right? You're having a lot of conversations. And I said something about like, you thought a message sent, but it didn't send, and then it sends later or something. All right, clarify the confusion part in that masculine. All right, so we have the snake and we have the cross. Confusion. This is the owl bestie conversation that gets confusing. Like someone's wires get crossed, someone confuses someone for someone else, something like that. The rods. There goes the argument, the crossroads, a difficult decision. 1122. So, angel number 366. there's a burdened woman, and I showed you guys the lady. So I don't know if you're dealing with the lady or you are this lady. You got to figure out what this is, right, for you. But I'm seeing a burdened lady. The lady's burdened. The lady is getting triggered because of some sort of abuse. We talked about heartache. So let's say that this is emotional abuse. The lady is having an issue with a friend. They're arguing back and forth. They're mirroring each other. They're triggering each other. The friend feels that the lady is better than her. I don't know why, but this is why the arguments are actually being had, right? And there's something happens there in regards to a masculine that a masculine gets brought up, all right? But there's like a mix up or I'm guessing like you think that you're talking about one person, you're both having a deep conversation about it, and you swear you're on the same page, but you're not because you're both triggered. Because you're both triggered, you're thinking that it's a different person. And then when you end up comparing notes, it's not the same person, like, and so somebody's like, who the fuck is that? Like, that's not the person that I was talking to you about. Like, what? So prepare to have a weird conversation with somebody that probably is going to end up into an argument and stuff like that. But the only reason that the argument is being had is because you're both arguing with your egos, basically. Because that's what a triggered argument looks like. Like you're allowing your shadow to take over, or to take over the narrative of the conversation, or how you see the conversation, or the other person's viewpoints and stuff like that, right? So someone feels like they don't know what to do in the conversation, right? It's like, I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to say. So the conversation doesn't really lead anywhere. Remember that I said something about butting heads? Here it is again. The butting of heads, the butting of wills. This is it. This is what it is. What's going on here? The rider, the mountain. So is this the dog? Friend came up again. The fish. Oh, this is a business. This is a business friend. This is a work friend. The coffin. You know this person from work? Or you work with this person? This friend? Is this happening at work? So remember I said there's like a delayed message or something like that? That's coming up again, right? There's some sort of news about an obstacle. Remember, this is the owl besties talking, right? So, this happened, I can't do this, right? Or there's a second moment of the delayed message. So maybe one owl bestie was supposed to send a message to the other owl bestie, or one owl bestie was supposed to call the other owl bestie and they didn't do it. Okay, that gets brought up in the conversation. Angel number 121, another mirrored number. So the mirrored situation in this Crowllective in the next 7 days has something to do with the friends. The owl besties are like mirroring each other. And so instead of like, because the owl besties to me is like we spiritually in sync, basically. Like we're like we can say things the same way, or we can read each other's minds, or I'm thinking it, so you think it too, or like how people say in the mundane, like, "Oh, I was just thinking that," and you said it out loud, right? But it's like the owl besties are not like that. It's like 2.0. The owl besties is like the both of you guys feel the same way, and the both of you guys react the same way, and the both of you guys talk the same way because you're in the same energy, you're in the same vibration, right? It's not a copycat energy, right? So it's like a more higher vibrational form of it, right? And so like you guys are clearing the air about some sort of confusion because something was confusing. So there's a delayed message. And somebody's going to be satisfied with this. So whatever was confusing is going to get cleared up. Even if the confusion does take place in the next 7 days, it's going to get cleared up. Someone just needs to talk it out, right? This is the financially successful friend, or the friend that you would consider a business partner. Like you do things together, business related. Okay. Not necessarily like a business partner. Like some of you guys, it is like that. Like there's a written agreement between both of you guys or whatever financially. But this is like your money partner in crime. Like you're like, I'm gonna do this for money. Are you gonna come with me? Are you gonna do this with me too? Like that person. And when I say this is a successful, a financially successful friend, that means that like whatever they do financially, it takes off, right? Versus the unsuccessfully financial friend that every attempt that they make just ends up with them asking for more money, or not being financially stable, or having issues with finances, or there's always something with the person financially that is like the boohoo moment, right? So we're not talking about that one. We're talking about the other one, the one that's financially successful. Okay. Right. So going back to the financially successful business trip, right? So that could be with that person, right? Or there's a trip with a person that is, they're able to, I said something about financial increase, right? Someone's going to get a financial increase. Let's get some messages on that for the financial increase, and then we'll wrap it up. What's the financial increase? The mountain. So this was delayed. This was delayed. My nose is itching. Okay. So we're right on it, right? Right on like what's about to happen next. So what was delayed in terms of the financial success is now coming. So clarify the mountain though. The flowers. You know, the flowers came out with that masculine. I said, who's that masculine, right? So maybe you were getting to know somebody that you didn't know, and that's significant. So there's relief. So financially, there's relief coming. There's relief coming. And that's the financial increase. So the financial increase brings relief to your situation in the next 7 days. Like, finally I can relax now. Finally I can I can do what I want to do, or I don't have to, like, I can rest. The fish. The anchor. Financial stability. Oh my gosh, yay! Angel number 343. There's a lot of mirror numbers here, y'all. The cross. The rods. Why is it? The gentleman. Is this the person? The sun. This is the optimistic man. So I just showed you 3 men. You have the loner, the single man, right? And then you have this one, the optimistic man, and then you have the other person who's like, who the heck is that, right? The one that's like happy but doesn't show them that they're happy. The one that's like not that charming. The one that's like not, like, I mean, they're attractive, but they're not that attractive. So it's like you have, there's 3 different energies here. Again, in the next 7 days. So pay attention to the omens that you're getting about these different energies that are coming into your energy, right? Collective wise. Because there's new energies coming. Like something is shifting. But back to the finances, right? There's financial stability, right? Long-term income. So the increase is going to be long-term income. So this is not like, because sometimes when I get like financial increase messages, it could be like a promotion, or like someone gives you a gift of money, or like, you know, you get discounts or something like that, and that's a form of money, right? No, this is like an actual financial increase, like a long-term steady pay that comes in, right? And I'm also seeing here like some sort of business is established, or there's like an established business of some sort. Okay, and this is what's like the domino effect of what's causing. Okay, we can go on a business trip now, or okay, we can have successful plans with our travel plans, or go to this trip or whatever, right? That's the domino effect of that. So the financial increase is a domino effect. Everything else are just like bonus nuggets in this reading. They're just like little bonus nuggets because they're like little things that are going to be happening throughout the week, right? And for some of you guys, it's like some of you guys it's reading to reading, and some of you guys it's week to week. Okay, it just depends on how things chronologically work out for you, Crowley. Everybody's different, right? But going back to the trigger thing, right? So someone was emotionally abused at some point in time, and they need to heal that because it's causing issues between a friendship, or causing delay in terms of spiritual friendship. So a spiritual friendship can progress, or a pen pal ship can then become a spiritual friendship. Okay, I don't know. And when we talk about pen pals, that means that you guys are a distance, from far away from each other, right? What else am I saying here? Someone could have suffered from physical abuse and also emotional abuse, and so those triggers and those things need to be talked about and released, and basically treated with care, right? Versus ignoring it, right? And I talked about like those different, the hopscotch theory, right? Figuring out what applies to you guys, right? I'm saying something about painful childbirth. or something about childbirth could be significant too. That needs to be healed. That's trauma. All right. Someone has a spiritual child, confirmation. All right. So like what they're saying is that conflict is unavoidable in life, right? But we need to be able to learn how to manage it. We need to learn how to de-escalate situations, and we need to learn how to treat ourselves. Like basically, if we are people that are emotionally charged, right? We pour our all into a situation or pour our all into like emotionally, like I'm going to emotionally invest so much into this particular situation because that's who I am. I pour my all into it. So emotionally that can be taxing to you, especially if there is something in regards to conflict that keeps happening. Whether that's arguments, whether that's like people just bringing things up, or whether that is like trauma is something that constantly resurfaces that needs to be addressed, right? So going back to like the hopscotch game, right, could be your spiritual journey. And so in your spiritual journey, you, regardless of anything, you're still playing hopscotch, right? But you need to know when to take a break, and you need to also know when to like how to address things and how not to address things, right? um I'm also seeing like the hopscotch game for some of you guys could be relationships, and we're just going to generalize that to just relationships in general. Could be friendships, could be romantic, could be business, right? So relationships in general, and how you engage with other people and how people engage with you and how you allow people to engage with you. Um, so basically, who's setting the rules to the hopscotch game um, is another thing that's coming up in the next 7 days. Uh, the arguing back and forth with, like, because usually, you know, if you're arguing in a game, that means that someone is a sore loser. that's like what it is, right? Um, or someone feels like that they should be winning, or that someone feels that someone's cheating or something like that, right? So that being said, like what's fair and what's unfair in your spiritual journey, what's fair and what's unfair in regards to relationships, what's fair and what's unfair in regards to your trauma, right? What's valid and what's invalid, right? So validating yourself is a part of the healing experience in the next 7 days. Cracking open a book, finding something, you know, the book is going to be in your house. Read it. There could be some messages there. I'm not sure if it's page 10 or chapter 10, but there's an answer there for you. But other than that, those were your messages. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.